Squad up, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of The Squad.
Squad!
We are your hosts, Yaya.
And this is Jay.
And we are happy to be here. We want to welcome you back.
I need to stop doing that because people might crash their cars.
Don't say that. Don't even speak that on nobody.
I'm not speaking over it, but I just thought about it right after I did. I was like, oh yeah.
They used to it.
I would hope. But I was just like, just in case you was like, sleep.
If you're a new person, then you might be like, what is this?
If they was asleep while driving, I mean, hopefully that just helped them get to work. I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah.
But, my bad, people. I just be hyped.
Unless
it's super late.
You know, we was praying before starting. What I heard when you said, may you bring peace between us and them. You know what I heard in my mind? May the Lord watch between. Oh,
as we are absent between one another.
Shout out to PMJ.
Hey man, I got a lot of people for that.
Oh goodness. How are you?
I'm good, man. Other people got chaos, and I had to ring it in this weekend, but good, man. New job from the start soon.
Yes.
Finally getting some family stuff in order, hopefully.
Amen.
Relationships are blossoming.
Amen.
It's a good time. I'm gonna say it's a good time. I have learned that I might be going back to social work. Cause I just tried to chase money instead of purpose, and it ain't working.
And it's alright. It fits you.
I guess, child. I'm just like, Lord, wherever you take me, just make sure I get in. Give me some good professors.
Because if you really think about it, everything that you're passionate about, everything that you want to do, it's social work. Everything that you've done is social work. My mom, when I first got back to Birmingham and I was trying to figure, like I was in the state that I was in, my biggest thing was purpose, and I was afraid that I didn't have a purpose. And I was like, well, if God is real and I don't have a purpose, then why am I here? And he's going to take me out and all this other stuff. And my mom was like, most times, first of all, she was like, first of all, everybody has a purpose. God don't just put you here for nothing.
Right.
But also, what you'll find is that your purpose is something that you're already doing, or that you've already done.
Mm-hmm.
But that you've just, or something that's always just been a part of you, but that you've never really thought about like that. Or maybe you have thought about it, but you were just like, no, this is just something that I do. This is just part of me. Because that's like me in wellness. Mm-hmm. Wellness has always been part of me. And I was thinking about it today. And wellness dates back technically to when I was 9. But me getting into it for myself, it dates back to when I was 14. And I got into it for the wrong reasons. Mm-hmm. But God used it anyway. Because around that time, I was becoming somewhat sexually active. And I was like, well, I want to be fresh all the time. So how I got into fruit and water is how I got into wellness.
I was like,
that
makes perfect sense.
I want to be fresh from the inside out. Always. And so fruit and water is how I got into wellness. And when I really started learning about how food affects the body, I was so fascinated.
That's hilarious. That is hilarious. She was like, I want to make sure this thing always fresh. Drink the water, this fruit. Oop, health and wellness. Now for the kingdom. Boy, God be funny.
God be very funny.
He was like, oh, you gonna deep diving over here? Yeah, that's cool. And sprinkle a little bit of my purpose over there.
Exactly. But all that to say, you will find that, because I'm always like, oh, there's an herb for that. Ooh.
You do that. Oh my God.
There's an herb for that.
You'll pull an herb out the backside, boy. Like, oh, your neck hurt. You need to take. Where did you go? I've been looking. I've been researching.
Yes, why not?
I ain't mad at it. I'll be like, this nigga is, street pharmacist. But then she an herbal street pharmacist.
I mean,
I ain't mad at it. As a matter of fact, I need to find someone too to get my knees back together.
And I, like, when I was a freshman, I was like, ooh, I think I want to, because I had just started college and I was going for sex therapy, but then I didn't realize I could be a natural wellness counselor or something like that. And so I told my mama I wanted to do that. I was like, I think I want to do that. And she said, you need to make up your mind. And at the time, I was like, why do I have to be in a box?
And it's hilarious that you say that, because the reason why I love social work so much, besides the fact that social justice is embedded in the code of ethics, unlike other places, you can literally do anything.
And I can do anything with wellness, actually.
Like, I can literally go from a business room to a sports field to a hospital to a grassroots nonprofit organization. There is so much I could jump into just whenever I feel like, you know what, I don't want to work with this population anymore. Jump over here.
Yep. And even with that in mind, for when I first started college and I wanted to do or wanted to be a sex therapist, I can do sexual wellness. I could do spiritual sexual wellness. I could do sexual wellness from a mental perspective, because I know a good bit about all of it. And then I can also do spiritual wellness in general, mental wellness in general, physical wellness in general. That's my favorite, because I love cooking for people.
And
I love, like...
They're all around.
Yeah.
They're all around.
Yeah, and that's what holistic wellness is. Holistic with a W, not an H, because the H is some other stuff. The W.
You need to teach people more about that holistic with a W.
Holistic with a W is basically from the perspective of the Bible. It's because there's holistic with an H that focuses on spiritual, but spiritual with crystals, and spiritual with tarot, which ultimately all of that goes into witchcraft. But holistic with a W, it's about being whole, being made whole in Christ, and understanding that your wellness, or part of your wellness, or part of being whole, the ultimate part of you being whole in your wellness is Christ. He is at the center of your wellness, because he makes you whole with a W. So that's really the difference. But yeah,
the more you know.
The more you know. Because I didn't even know that. So
yeah, but I think that just the social justice aspect, and I've learned that some of my spiritual gifts are related to being able. Because even then, I was going through a class and they was teaching me how one of my spiritual gifts connected me to the fact that if whatever I'm doing is not attached to purpose, I won't be able to do it well. And I was like, dang,
what spiritual gift is that?
I gotta go back and read my notes. Because
that sound about right. That sound like me.
And I was like, it was crazy when he told it to me, because he was like, it was Pastor Darius McClure. And because we was on our class Pathway to Purpose, and he was explaining, because he ended up telling me, because most people only supposed to have 2 or 3 spiritual gifts out of the inventory. I was the only one in the class that had 4. And he was like, all yours, according to your inventory, these are the closest one? I said, I got 2 ties. And he was like, bro, you got a lot going on. And I was like, that's so social worky. But go ahead. But he was explaining to me how when things are not done in purpose, you either don't want to do them or you do them begrudgingly. And I was like,
that sound about right. I may have that spiritual gift, whatever that is.
I'm going to give you my notes when I find them.
Okay.
But I was like, this is why social work is so important to me, because depending on what my purpose or assignment is, with social work, if God determines, okay, your assignment is done here, I need you to go over here. With that degree and with that career field, I can do that. So I can always be an assignment no matter what I'm doing.
Same.
And I was like,
God is making me realize that even with this podcast is part of wellness.
This is wellness.
Part of it's spiritual wellness. It's wellness.
Mental, emotional.
Yeah. And when I got back to Birmingham, I was just like, I really want to do this and I really want to do this. It all tied to the same. It all tied to wellness.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, I'm scared that I won't have enough time and I won't be able to do this and I won't. It seems like so much and all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, it's all wellness.
Mm-hmm.
And God made me realize there will be different seasons of your life, and in those different seasons, you will still be tied to this purpose, but I will need you to do it in different ways.
Ooh, why you just read me? That was scary. I was like, dang, that's social work. I
didn't just read you. You said the same thing.
I know, but it was just that when you said it again, for some reason, it was like,
I guess.
For me, it was just hitting different. I was like, I ain't gonna hear that. Because I ran away from social work due to program hurt. But now I'm noticing that's prodigal son energy that I have.
Big prodigal.
I got big prodigal son energy, and it's real and just coming back. And for those struggling with prodigal son energy, you will notice that whatever you ran away from, God will bring you right back to it.
Absolutely. Oh my mercy.
And eventually you will learn that what you left was actually good for you.
Because I ran away from wellness because I wasn't successful with it in the way that I wanted to be. Mm-hmm. But I was also doing it wrong. I was doing it without God. So, of course, I wasn't successful.
That's why I found out I was doing social work wrong. Because I was like, I was doing social work out of anger. Mm-hmm. Because I was tired of individuals going into this field that only did it because, and you know, the field is oversaturated with primarily women, primarily white women, just being honest. And I just found so many of my counterparts and my cohorts, and even going to conferences and seeing how people who are supposed to have social justice embedded in their ethics only care about their topic and how they feel.
Yep.
So if they was about geriatrics, they only cared about geriatrics. And then I thought about it, and I started to challenge my classmates about it, because a lot of them, and I noticed it, which is a whole bunch of young white girls, they had rich fiancés they was going to get married to. And they just wanted to say they wanted to save people. I want to help children. But do you want to help black children? Oh, I don't know. I want to help women. Well, do you want to help women that may be a lesbian? Oh, I don't know. Thanks. And I was like, listen, if you're going to help a certain group, there are multiple factors to these groups.
Intersectionality.
But they was only focused on helping them. And I remember it was one girl, she kept talking about, we got into a big argument about the foster care system and adoption. Because the girls was like, oh yeah, well, you know, I want to go to China and I was just going to help adopt children over there. And I was like, I was sitting in class, I'm chilling. Mm-hmm. I'm stewing, but I'm chilling.
Okay.
Because, you know, because one of the things about me and a lot of people, I'm kind of similar to the Lecrae version of missionary work. I understand that people that need to go overseas do missionary work. Mm-hmm. I get it. If that's what God calls you to do, right, I'm with it. But if you just doing it like most people for a photo op with the poor kids, because, you know, that's a thing. Yeah. Just to put on your Facebook during your college adventures or whenever you get older, I ain't with that. Yeah. I'm more of, why you going to go overseas to do missionary work when the hood down the street? Right. I ain't with that. And for me, I was like, before I try to go down to Mexico, right, I'm going to go to the west side. Where my family from. Or I'm going to do what's not necessary. I'm going to work in the east side where my family currently is. Yeah. Where a lot of things I see personally are going on. What can I help here? Alabama. I'm going to help Alabama before I try to go to Texas. Now, I ain't going to lie. Storm relief is storm relief. But hey, a tornado tore up the west side years ago. And it's still not all the way back together. So that's how I feel when it comes to missionary work. But that's why I felt the way I felt with people in my program. Y'all want to go out and do all these things internationally and with stuff that's so big time, but you don't want to help nobody next to you. Mm-hmm. Because they just so happen to might be a different color than you. Mm-hmm. Or a different just nationality or belief system or all this other stuff. And I just be like, you know.
Well, if you're going to go over there, what you think it's going to...
Exactly. But you don't want to help somebody down the street. You walk past homeless people in downtown Birmingham when you know you got cash in your pocket Now, here's my thing. I understand some people be thinking folks scamming. I get it.
Yeah.
But however, if the Lord has led you to give away some money to help somebody, whatever they do with it ain't got nothing to do with you.
Honestly, and that's we really got to get out of that head. I understand you like, I don't want to fund their habit and all these other things. You don't know that these people have a habit.
A lot of them are veterans.
A lot of them are veterans. A lot of them choose to be there. A lot of them are not necessarily addicts. They just have a lot going on, or stuff just didn't pan out the way that they expected it to.
And some veterans, because I didn't actually had conversations with some of them. Some veterans came back from overseas and their family was gone.
Yeah.
Like, they've been gone so long, their mama died. Wife might have divorced them because they was gone too long. Kids might have been gone. Thought daddy wasn't never coming back. Yeah. They probably didn't have a home to come to, because some of them left when they was boys.
Yeah.
Like, you was 18 living out going off to war. And if your mama tragically passed, you ain't got no house to go back to. And stuff like that. And some of them was like, I know a couple of them was like, I've been here since Desert Shield. And I was like, God, how long you been out here? Like, this decades. And we ain't got no programs.
That's something that I really want to do too.
We got a couple programs. I need to find them. I've been seeing a couple of them.
I want to do. I pray I can when we get there. I ain't even gonna say it right now. I just pray, Lord, lead me there. But the biggest thing to understand is that can easily be you. And you don't want nobody looking at you and saying, "Oh, they may have a disease or they may have an addiction to something." No, things just did not work out for you the way that you thought that they would. And what really taught me this was me being almost homeless, not knowing where I was going to be, and also me living in my apartment and having to face the possibility of really being homeless, because I don't know how I'm going to pay rent. I got 2 jobs and I'm in school, but I still don't know how I'm going to make rent. I can barely afford food. I have a dog. I can barely afford food for my dog. I'm on food stamps. And I'm still struggling to eat. And I was going through all that in college. And so what that taught me again is that can easily be me. That could easily be any one of us.
You know what's so crazy? Now that you said that about college, we made family meals because all of us didn't have to eat.
Exactly.
Separately.
Yes.
And we would come together and be like, well, you get this small item. I know they can't feed you, but it'll add to the pot.
Right.
You got this. You got this. You got the spot. You got the stove.
And that's also part of why cooking for y'all made me feel so good, because I was like, I know that if I am ever in the position where I don't have enough, I want to know that I can go somewhere and have enough. And I want people to be able to expect the same of me. If they are connected to me, if they are friends, if I call them friend and they call me friend, I want them to know it is my honor to serve you. I love you so much. I want to make sure you're good. You're good. You're well fed. And then also, that's why wellness is so important to me. Yeah, I was making catfish and macaroni and greens and stuff for y'all back then.
Hey, hold on. Don't. Listen, that slapped.
But also,
I heard the butt coming, but before you put the butt on the stand.
But also, what I was able to understand is the people that I have been blessed to cook for, in a way, I am your doctor.
Yeah.
I am feeding you in a way that can either be medicine or poison to you. And so I know a lot of y'all ain't vegan and y'all don't... Listen, I throw down regardless.
She do.
Whether it's a vegan meal, whether it's a traditional meal, a carnivorous meal,
This girl said a carnivorous.
It's gonna slap.
A carnivorous
regardless.
meal.
Now, from now on, if you come to my house from now on, you gonna get some plants.
Yeah. You make sure you got some greens.
You gonna get some plants.
Not actual greens, but
and
vegetables.
They're gonna be great. They're gonna be good to you and for you.
And And you always got a water ready.
And yes, I do.
Which I'm going to go get.
Okay.
Why'd you talk to them?
That's fine. Because I want to make sure that y'all are good. I want to make sure that y'all have the medicine that y'all need. I acknowledge the fact that the food that I feed you can either be, again, medicine or poison. And I want to make sure that it's medicine. If it's coming from me, it's going to be medicine. You can get whatever you want on your own time. But up in my house, we're going to get medicine. In the same way, just like it's whatever they do out there is what they do out there. But as for me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord. So
I thought you were going to say, as for me and my house, we're going to eat these vegetables.
Same thing. As for me and my house, we're going to eat these vegetables. As for me and my house, we're going to do what's good for our soul, what's good for our spirits, what's good for our bodies. As for me and mine, we're going to be good stewards over here.
Facts. In
many ways. Spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically.
Oh, boy.
Sexually, we're going to be good stewards.
When I'm married.
When we're married, yes.
Boy. The streets ain't safe.
But even before you get married, we can take care of ourselves. We can get ourselves together sexually.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself. But yeah, all that to say, all that to say.
But we so 85 ourselves.
I made sure that I was taking care of. I want to make sure that I take care of my folks. Back in college, I was just feeding.
Whoever was in the house.
Whoever was in the house. And I was just happy to cook. But now I'm happy to do more than just cook. I'm happy to serve you in multiple ways. It tastes good and it's good for you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So last week we talked about Child, what we talk about last week?
A lot. Well, we don't talk about a lot. That's a good question. Hold on.
That's true.
We was talking about trust.
We talked about trust, and we talked about how we understand the struggle of trying to trust God when we have spiritual fatigue. Mm-hmm. And being in a place where it's like, it's so hard, and we've been given all that we can, and we just don't know what to do, and now it's hard to trust you. And, you know, a song came to mind. And it is from the Prophets, Lil Wayne. And
not Dwayne Michael Carter Jr.
Yes. Prophet Dwayne Michael Carter Jr.
What verse of Louisiana did you go to?
So we will turn over to the song Running.
Okay.
And when I sat with Running, I wasn't listening to it, it just came to me. It's scripture.
I thought you were finna go steady mobbing, but go ahead.
How is it scripture? Because if you listen to the lyrics, you get a little bit of the race is not given to the swift or the strong, but to those who endure to the end.
I like how you did that.
Because the words are, somebody tell me, when's it gonna end? When's it going to end? Running. I
was like, hey, why it sound like you're doing Wayne spoken word?
And then there's a breakdown. You know we good for that.
Oh yeah.
But there's a breakdown where Chanel goes, counting all my pennies, but it doesn't add up. At the mercy, but somehow it ain't enough.
This math ain't math.
And so we get there. We get to that point where it's like we at the mercy of Jesus, and it ain't enough.
Hey.
And it's like, God, I'm doing what you told me to do, and I'm getting tired.
Well.
And you got to hold on to that faith. You got to keep going. You got to endure to the
running.
end. You got to keep running.
That's.
And then Wayne said, we all in a race. I'm just another sprinter. If there's no finish line, then who's the real winner?
Woo. Don't do it to
Jesus is the winner. We running for Jesus.
Ain't no finish line and who the real winner. But the thing about it is how a lot of people
because ain't no finish line. There's no finish line in the way that we think there should be one. God has an ultimate finish line.
If I can find, hold on, I gotta see if I can find it. There was something on Facebook. Mm-hmm. I gotta go. Oh, my friend posted it. See if I can find her. Yeah, because when she put that thing up, I was like, wait a minute. Hold up.
I do not recall what album that song is on. It's on whatever album he went rock and roll on.
Oh, you talking about Rebirth?
Yep, there we go.
Where are you? Where are you? Where are you?
There's a few songs on there that I like. We can also go to Paradise, where he breaks down how the things of this world are not what you think they are. Because even those lyrics say, "Oh no, this ain't paradise."
We can stay with my man. Oh, he was. Oh my bad. I'm trying.
But even then, okay, you a goon, but what's a goon
to a goblin? Here it is. This hit me hard differently. It was a post that said, "No one warned me that coming into your own also includes grieving the life that you were conditioned to believe you wanted."
Oh no, this ain't paradise.
Like, folks still be thinking this stuff posted. I was thinking about what is this with the finish line, and it's like the finish line is what you thought it was, and you think that, okay, well, this ain't the life I wanted to live. This wasn't the life you were supposed to live.
Exactly.
But we've been so conditioned to think, oh, if we get this and we get that, then we should be. It's almost like we try to think of life as just one simple addition problem, and forgetting the fact this calculus. We got limits and derivatives over here, but. I say that to say, we be looking at so many things from the world to teach us how life's supposed to be, forgetting the fact that the world don't know either.
Listen, that's why you cannot be. That's part of why you can't be swayed by your emotions, because your emotions are based on what you experience in the world
and what you see, what you feel, quote
unquote. So you don't feel like doing this certain thing. We talked about that with when it came to trust. You don't feel like doing this thing, even though God already told you, or God gave you a word about this is where you're going to be, but you don't feel like doing what it takes to get there. You don't feel like it because right now laziness is taking over, or right now distracted.
Hey, calm down. You maybe lay down. Calm
right
down.
Now you're being distracted by these other things.
You heard me.
You don't feel like doing it, but it's what you got to do if you gonna get to what God got for you.
You heard me. Why you doing? Stop. What you doing? I ain't say talk about me.
Ain't nobody. I'm talking about me for real.
I know. I just I was like, wait a minute, who you talking to? I thought it was about podcast. Ain't about me.
I told you my abs started coming through, and that's just because I be doing stuff when I don't feel like doing stuff.
Oh, well, I'm just rubbing there, I guess. I'm kind of enjoying it this big dude season. Excuse me.
That's all right.
Listen, keep it.
Listen, I'm still a little thick, okay? But yeah, that was last week. So this week, we are talking about, we're getting racial. We're talking about being.
That's horrible. That's a horrible intro. We're getting racial.
We're talking about being Black and Christian. And what that looks like. What some of the nuances of that entail, and also what are some unfavorable thoughts about that? And again, I told you I wrote this down months ago, but what made it click, or what's really been pressing me about it, is how you remember that night we were sitting and we were watching. I don't remember what we were watching, but it was something. It was something on PureFlix, and
you talking about, was it last week?
It was a few weeks ago. I was trying to show y'all something, and even though I thought it was, I enjoy it. I understand everybody don't enjoy what I enjoy. So,
as long as you know, child.
That's fine. It ain't for you.
I ain't have no problem.
I just want to share it in case it is for you.
I just know our other film buffs, as far as friends, may not have enjoyed it.
And I enjoyed it. But we were watching it, and questions were raised about Jesus not being, what is the word? Racially
I'm trying to see
correct. What is the word? Not correct, but accurate, racially accurate in what we were watching. And for me, I don't like when that happens because I'm like, why can't we just enjoy it? Why can't we just watch it and get the message out of it? We were watching The Encounter. And
yeah.
And I get Jesus was white in the show. I get it.
Yeah, he was just using what he was using.
Exactly. And my thing about it is, for some people, that's just the Jesus that they know. That's the Jesus that has been depicted to them for so long, and nothing else has been depicted to them. And that does not mean that their faith is any less valid, or any more valid. It doesn't mean that their faith is weaker than mine because I'm more concerned about the racially accurate Jesus. It's not like that for me. I can sit and be able to separate, biblically speaking, separate the wheat from the chaff. Or I could eat the meat and spit out the bones. When I watch something with the intent to hear a word from God or to just keep my mind focused on God, I am more concerned about keeping my mind focused on God and in the message. I'm not so concerned about how Jesus is depicted as far as race is concerned and things like that. Now, I do get that there's certain messaging that can be depicted through that. But again, I'm not here for that. Mm-hmm. I get that there are people out there who believe that that white Jesus is superior and that you don't serve my Jesus because my Jesus is white. I get that there are people like that who exist. I'm not blind to that at all. But there is so much of that in the world. I don't want to cloud my mind with that mess. That ain't what I'm watching it for. But I do feel like sometimes as Black Christians, we do get caught up in that conundrum sometimes of, I want to watch this and I want to enjoy this. But they're not depicting him right. And we also get caught up in I think we get caught up in our blackness too much.
Okay.
And I know that's some that's some wild stuff to say. I get it. And this is not to be too holy or too spiritual or anything like that. It's just sometimes I think that we get we get too caught up in our flesh, this flesh that is going to be here and remain here and go back into the dirt when our spirit leaves.
I'm going to say something I think is going to sum up what you're trying to say. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to tread carefully because when you said it, I was like, what you mean by that? But then the sentence popped up in my head. We put our blackness over God.
Yes.
That's what you're trying to say.
Yes.
Oh, you going like this tonight.
And a lot of times, I think that's the case right now, especially with what's quote-unquote spirituality is right now. A lot of people are getting caught up in African spirituality. A lot of Black people are getting more caught up in African spirituality because they're like, well, this is what my people practice and da-da-da-da. Are you sure them your people? Ooh. Are you sure them your people? Oh, you took a DNA test. Are you sure that DNA test was real?
Yeah, there has been little problems
with are you sure
taking DNA
exactly.
tests.
Are you sure 23andMe was real?
Or Ancestry.com.
Exactly. But also, are you sure that stuff was really what was good for their spirit back then? Do you really know that? Or are you just doing it because this is my roots and this is what makes me Black and proud? But when you leave...
Okay. Here's Here's the thing I have to comment on. Mm-hmm. And I have told people this. And every time I got into debates in college, when it came to white folks asking me questions about black stuff, being black is not a monolithic experience.
It's not. Not at all.
But the problem in saying that is we have, as a people, really tried to put a label on what is blackness. Mm-hmm. And who is black and who is not black enough, or who is more black than the other. And
that's where the whole getting into your African spirituality and all that stuff, that ties into that. Because people will be like, well, you practicing the white man's religion if you're a Christian, if you're not into your Ankh and your Hotep ways.
Hold up. Let's hold on. Let's put Hotep to the side because you know how I feel. Because that's Hotep is very problematic for me, being a black man. That I'm just like, yes. What I want to say on this podcast. Woo! But I feel like the problem is history has a big thing to play with it.
Yes.
But the issue of inaccurate histories has been why we have so many issues with black and being black and Christian.
Yes.
In my opinion, I was talking to a friend. I was telling you about it. But, a lot of people always talk about the white man's religion. Y'all do realize, and I'm finna make some people upset with this. And if you're upset, you need to go and look at yourself for a second. You can't say something is the white man's religion if you also believe that the white man stole everything.
Exactly.
So
is it the white man's religion, or did they just steal it again? Did they steal something else?
And that's the issue. If you want to blame everything based off Europeans, and we want to keep it a buck about history, talking to a history teacher here, or an expert, because I might not be doing that no more. But you were talking about particular countries of people that were known for conquering, murdering, stealing, and then readapting it to what they wanted it to be.
Exactly.
So if we gonna say the white man's religion, you can't say that in the same breath and say white people steal everything. Because that means one of these things are not like the other. But you can't even get to that part of the conversation because then it becomes a battle of who knows more about their blackness. And in my opinion, it gets down to the debate of, it's almost as stupid as the debate. I'm going to say it's stupid to me. As the PWI HBCU debate.
That is stupid to me.
But the only reason it's stupid to me, coming from somebody that has been raised by HBCU professors and teachers and great people who wanted to go to a HBCU, but they did not give me the scholarship money to go. And I had to go to a PWI. It wasn't because I didn't want to go. Me and A&M State, A&M was the first school that even gave me something. I knew I was going to be a bulldog. But they ain't had no scholarship money.
Yeah.
Or at least when I was applying to scholarships, they never even got back to me. So I'm just saying this a person. I'm not trying to bring up the PWI HBCU debate. I'm just saying that the debate over how black you are, based off what you do, or who, or something like that, that has divided our people so bad that sometimes we can't even get along to even have conversations to even get to the point about Christianity, because that's gonna even
that's the thing.
I love my HBCUs.
That gets into Christianity though a lot of times, because there's, even in Christianity, there's a white culture and a black culture, and then there's the conversation about white preachers leading black people, or leading the black flock, or a black preacher leading a white flock, or
because some people got problems with, I would say, just for examples, like Pastor Stephen Furtick in North Carolina got a predominantly, I think he's in Charlotte, Elevation Church. Charlotte is full of a lot of black people. In combination, well, I'll say in parallel to Michael Todd in Tulsa, Oklahoma, which has a multiracial church that probably has, I don't know the demographic makeup, but when you think Oklahoma, there's a black population. But come on now.
But the thing about Stephen Furtick, and I learned this from my little lunch lady at work. She white, and I learned this from her. She said, "I love Stephen Furtick, and I love him because Pastor T.D. Jakes, he's his mentor. T.D. Jakes is Stephen Furtick's mentor."
You see how that was.
Exactly.
But even then, T.D. Jakes might be problematic for people that. Okay,
I get why people have such an issue with bigger name pastors in Christian and being. I get it. Mm-hmm. Y'all think it's for show and all these other things,
and
but
some of them
are, but not all of them. Mm-hmm. A lot of times, God just blessed them with that platform. Mm-hmm. They're not trying to capitalize on God.
And I mean, and not only this, and I'm just going to say this just for people to understand my transparency. You are literally talking to somebody that has been a part of protests, marches, have led black organizations, has done a lot of, like, it's so bad that my friends automatically know that when we've been out in public and a girl try to check me and say, "You look like somebody that did a white woman," and all my friends turn and look at them. If we gonna characterize somebody as black, bruh. No. I'm not, and I'm just saying this as somebody, not saying I got no problem with white people. I got a problem with racist people.
Yes.
Listen, like I said, you're talking to something. I'm literally in all black right now. And I really don't have too many other colors in my closet. And I have been trying.
You wear a lot of black. But anyway.
And it ain't. I try. Get a little purple. A little red, a little blue. But then even them dog. Black and red go together. Red, black and red. Yeah. Anyway. But just coming from somebody that has been on the side of, I don't want to say I'm on the side of, I am woke, but I'm also spiritually aware.
Yeah.
I have been, you're talking to somebody that was originally growing up, grew up in the church, became an atheist, and then went back.
Right.
Like, this ain't, you can check my spiritual resume if you want to.
Right.
That go along with my black resume. They go inside quite a bit. I was literally leading black protests and also a college pastor. It can exist.
Yeah.
And I was fighting the war on both fronts. Come on now. So, if anybody want to say that, well, these people don't know what they're talking about. I wish I could print out my CV. It's too long with just black. But coming from somebody who has done all that, yeah, I believe in God.
Yeah.
And that can coexist.
Yeah, it can.
I'm not going to put my blackness over God. Because to be honest, God didn't create races.
He did not.
That's a human social construct. We didn't, and even then, nationalities and stuff, cool. Still a human social construct. Black wasn't even us who said that.
Yeah.
If anything, it used to be derogatory.
How?
Negroes?
Yeah. How I see it is
hard ERs. Because you know, we say, let's need words that we have reclaimed, and we don't use the ER. But I also know a JESUS at the same time. Yes. And to be honest, some of the blackest folks I know in media, one of them in particular said, "Try Jesus, not me, because I throw hands." And can't nobody call his black card into question. He Nigerian. And from Southwest A-Lee, Texas. Toby, what's up?
My thoughts on it is coming from a space of witchcraft. They do that in witchcraft. They do that where you gotta be black to practice this thing. Only black people practice this thing.
I ain't even know there was a divide when it came to witchcraft. Wow.
But my point in saying that is division is of the enemy.
That seems scary when you said that. Okay.
Division is of the enemy.
Okay.
So even in witchcraft, you see that. You see you can only black people practice this. Only white people practice, or this is more for white people. This is more for black people. How dare you practice? Oh, people. were like real. There was a moment last year that scared the hell out of me. Literally, when this girl, she was white and she was calling on black entities, black spiritual entities.
Sound like the skeleton key.
And she came up dead. When I tell you, scared the literal hell out of me. But again, all that to say that and back to how God didn't create races.
If anything, he just picked up different sections of dirt.
Yes, he did. What I was gonna say is, with that, division in that way is not of God. It is of the enemy. And so I don't like when we try to bring that division into the church. When I say the church, I mean us as a people, us as God's people. I don't like when we try to bring that division into our family. Mm-hmm. Because that's not how God intended for it to be. Think about your in your everyday family, or your regular family, or your blood family, or whatever. Think about how y'all look alike, but y'all don't look alike. Mm-hmm. Y'all look alike, but y'all have different experiences. Mm-hmm. Y'all don't look alike, y'all have similar experiences. Mm-hmm. It is the same way in our family.
And I'm going to say this.
In our family of Christ. That's what I'm saying when I say our family.
And I'm going to say this because you know me, that my friend coined a term called Wokie McWokersons. I don't know if she got it from Twitter or this is just her in period. But I'm going to coin it. This might be the episode title, Wokie McWokersons. Okay. But the craziest thing about my people, and we have the history to back it up. Mm-hmm. And I might be sliding into a little bit Black Israelite territory, but I'm gonna let them handle that. Okay. I ain't a Black Israelite, but I will say history has parallels. Yeah. It's crazy to me for a lot of people that are my people that don't believe in Christ based off the fact of they're saying that it's the white man's religion. Mm. Forgetting the fact that almost every belief system, whether religious or not, has been abused in some form or fashion in the world. Absolutely. And there are extremists in almost every form. Absolutely. Slave masters with religion were extremists. Mm-hmm. And people be like, oh, they use the Bible to do this and that. There are multiple different ways the Bible has been misused. Mm-hmm. But has also redeemed. Mm-hmm. Because don't nobody point the parallel of, in slavery, the Bible was used for control. But in the civil rights movement, Christianity was used to save. Facts. Nobody points this out. If we want to do parallels of Black people, we got to look at the whole spectrum. Mm-hmm. Like, in our literal history in America, Christianity has been a foothold to not only keep us in, I don't want to say good spirits, but give us hope, but also in turn gave us freedom in certain ways. Not saying the way the U.S. government has truly given us freedom, because we know that ain't real. But let's not act like our ancestors did not do the dang thing when it came to having Jesus. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people want to go, you know, them old folks, they did. Hold up now, these. If you want to be so pro-Black,
you wouldn't be here without them old folks.
The same old folks is probably still praying for you to this day, and you don't even believe nothing. Mm-hmm. But you wonder how you got out of this situation. And please don't, let's not act like I'm gonna say the Wokie McWokersons, because you coming to me as somebody that says woke. Mm-hmm. Somebody that's too woke, but then when something go wrong, you calling on Jesus, and you ain't talked to Jesus in forever. So if that's the case, you know who to go to when you in a problem, even though you say you don't believe. All right, follow Dr. Umar Johnson, a homeless dude. I mean, I don't know, he might have a house, but let's not act like he wasn't in children parks recording videos.
Not children parks.
Because you can't sit up here and be so pro-Black that you not pro. Oh, well, let me not say that. You can't be so pro-Black. But the thing about it is, embedded in our culture and in our history, especially in this country, is God.
Yeah.
And if we want to do parallels, like I was saying, Black Israelites, I'm going to let them handle this. 400 years in Egypt with the Hebrews, 400 years of slavery in America. Over 400. I'm just saying. Not saying that maybe there's a reason why there's a parallel. Not saying it's not, But if you believe, like, you see what I see, maybe it's not a coincidence. If you want to, I'm gonna let the Black Israelites handle that. And whoever else in that group, cool. I don't know enough. I know enough from what my perspective and my experience carries. But some parallels ain't just parallel. Just saying. And I whip my hair back and forth on that. Willow. So
then there are those people who will say, well, if all of that is the case, why didn't Jesus, well, Jesus is God. So why did God create races in the first place, different races in the first place? And how God has revealed it to me is the same reason why he has placed you in different circumstances. Solely for relativity purposes, in order to get you to share his message, to do his divine will.
Have you ever thought that
your flesh, your skin color, whatever, it is just another thing that he has gifted you with and has entrusted you to be a good steward of. So how are you going to use your flesh? How are you going to use your blackness? Are you going to use it to promote war? And are you going to use it and promote witchcraft, promote whatever is more in alignment with blackness than God? Or are you going to use it as a means to connect with people according to God's purposes and according to God's will?
Because if we gonna keep it woke and black still, connection is what black people are about.
Yeah,
we literally have connected the world.
So it's like your gifts. God gave you the gift of music to glorify him. Now, whether you start out rapping or you rap about secular things, but like DMX, you rap about secular things, but you also use your platform to share God, you're still using the gift that he gave you to do his will. And even then, you may be Wokie McWokerson, but Amen. Are you using that again to promote war? Whatever platform you get from being Wokie McWokerson, are you using that to promote war?
And war doesn't always mean physical war.
No.
It's also a war within the
dissension,
church.
The spirit of dissension. Are you using it to promote the spirit of dissension? Or are you using it to promote the Holy Spirit?
And I'm going to be honest, like when it comes to the different wars that black people fight on these fronts, like we going against everything, y'all. Everything. And it's not a coincidence.
No.
So why in the world we need to create more dissension between each other?
Exactly.
When we need each other more than anything.
Exactly.
Like we can't even rebuild black communities because we got too many different ideas.
But even then, I want us to understand that I don't want us to have a disadvantage Olympics. I don't want it to be ain't going through.
Here we go. Hold up. You never want to compare oppression.
Yeah, an oppression Olympics. I don't want us to do like, white people don't know what black. Just like how you just said, like black people going through everything. Black people going through everything, and white people will never be able to understand what black people going through, and women will never be able to understand what men going through, and men will never be able to understand what women going through. The black woman.
How about we just said we all going through some shit?
But also, we're all going through some stuff. But also, with that in mind, black, white, Hispanic, whatever, we all fighting a demon. We are all fighting the enemy, and it is presenting itself in different ways. But because the enemy, the enemy banks on us being so caught up, being divided, and us being so caught up in the division that we can't see that it's all him.
Because we only got one enemy.
Again, division comes from the enemy. But sometimes, and I'm going to say it just like this, we get so stupid and get so caught up in the world, in what is taking place in the world, that we cannot see beyond this physical world.
And I'm going to say this. And I feel like we don't understand the enemy's tactics sometimes. Have you noticed that the more we try to bring unity together as people, and I'm talking about just all people. I can say black people specifically due to certain things that happen, but I'm just going to say all people when we started unifying more about certain things.
That's when all hell started breaking loose.
Exactly. Because I'm going to be honest. Think about it. When we started to get on the same page was in the middle of a pandemic. But then, in the middle of a pandemic, other entities started to throw certain other things to divide us again. And don't nobody pay attention to this.
Because during the pandemic was when everybody started saying we're all in this together. We stopped focusing on all that. We started saying, we just need to wash our hands, wear our masks, take care of each other.
That was
I know.
I know. That really taught me about how the world we live in. Washing their hands. They was like, when the news reporter said live on TV, it seems like hand washing is here to stay. It was gone. Y'all didn't have it. But then I had to realize I have staged some social experiments in college. Where I went into the bathroom and just sat there. And I wanted to see how many people was going to wash their hands in a 10-minute span. It wasn't many. And the ones I did catch washing their hands. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just saying, the ones I did see washing their hands, I'm going to infer that they look a certain way.
Don't say that. Don't bring no division, man.
I ain't doing division. I'm just saying. Hey, y'all. COVID here for a reason. I don't like it. Because people didn't want to wash their hands and didn't want to stop breathing in people's faces. You nasty booty children.
Well,
can't go to the hospital. You said, I didn't want to wash your hands. Somebody told you to stay away 6 feet. You said, I'm going to get closer. What? You like people that much?
Well.
My bad.
Oh, that's to
COVID
say.
made me mad.
Oh, that's to say.
A mask. And not wearing a mask. Do you know that in COVID was the only time I felt safe wearing a mask as a black man? That was the only time I could walk around with a mask and a hoodie and not be stopped. Wild times we are in.
Well.
My bad. I had a COVID tangent. I just
listened. Okay.
The last almost 2 years, coming on 2 years, have been wild.
They have.
And now we sit up there fighting for other reasons instead of saying, hey, y'all, we can all stick in this together in different ways.
Understand this. Jeez!
I owe you.
But we're recording!
Listen.
Anyway, the Bible says for a reason that those who try to save their lives will lose it, and those who lose their lives will be saved. The word says that for a reason. When you focus so much on this physical realm that you lose sight of what is spiritually going on, you're handing yourself over to death. But when you can tune into the spirit world, when you can tune into everything that's going on in the heavenly realms, you can understand that it is so much more than it's about so much more than what we see with our human eyes. So that's all I have.
And that's all I have.
All right. Well, we thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode.
Oh, there's so much more I have on the topic, but it just takes too long.
Well, if you want to hear that much more, we can talk about it some more on the Wisdom app, which we will drop the link for in the description.
Come on, shameless plug.
And also, ain't no shame. And then I know, but also, we're gonna go live on Instagram with it as well, and we're gonna go live on YouTube with it as well. So y'all can like comment on wisdom. What y'all can do though is be able to join in with us.
We're going live on Insta. I gotta prepare.
Yeah.
Get back in the gym.
Can't wait to talk with you all some more. And I can't wait to just spend more time with y'all. So that's all we have.
Yeah.
Peace.
Deuces.